Hey, it's Tim, and today is October 8th, 2025, and I'm here at beautiful Lake Morena. And more importantly, we're gonna look at the lake, and we're gonna go over to Lake Morena Village. There's a village here, Lake Morena Village. We're gonna do a little walkthrough, a little tour, if you will. I just drove through to get to here, but I haven't actually walked through the village. We're gonna go see what they've got over there. If you're familiar with the Pacific Crest Trail, or maybe you are getting ready to hike the Pacific Crest Trail and you're curious about Lake Morena, because this is one of the major the first stop on the trail for, you can get something to eat. You could spend the night here. There's a water source here, and there's a campground. So this is one of the first kind of like when people start on the Pacific Crest Trail at the Mexican border. This is kind of like a goal, a very first goal. I think it's about 30 miles, it's not 30 miles, maybe 27 miles or something like that from the Mexican border up the trail. And so this is Lake Morena, and we're going to do a little tour. And what I want to ask you today is, you coming? Now I have climbed upon this boulder. You can see my car right down there. I have climbed way atop this boulder for a bird's eye view of the valley and get a little look at the beautiful clouds today. It is a beautiful, warm, breezy. It's not terribly warm. What is it, about 80 degrees, and nice cool breeze, so it's not bad. There's a cloud cover, so the sun is not super bright. And we're gonna look over here at the lake, and I'm gonna tell you a little story, a little historical thing about San Diego, if I could coin the phrase from Ken Kramer, about something that happened on this spot in 1919. So Tim is gonna read to you a sign, and I will just show you some epic views from perched this rock, as I am right here and right now. Take it away, Tim. Hatfield, the Rainmaker. Charles M. Hatfield agreed with San Diego County council members after a 4-year drought to make it rain, sufficiently to fill Lake Morena Reservoir for $10,000. His rain-enhancing tower and pans were erected south of this monument. Hatfield and brother Paul worked diligently, burning chemicals into the sky. Suddenly it began to rain, dumping 35 inches in 1 month on San Diego County. 2 rainstorms in January in 1916 caused great devastation, destroying Sweetwater Dam spillway, bursting Otay Dam, wiping out Otay Valley and Mission Valley, isolating San Diego and killing 14 people. Hatfield hurriedly left town and was never paid by the city for his service. Charles and Paul went on to enhance moisture around the world. All right, that's the story of the Rainmaker guy. You can decide if that's fact or fiction or legend. Maybe it's legend. I'm not really sure, but I'll let you decide on that one. So I'm here at the county region. I guess it's a regional park or a county park. I don't know if it's a state park, whatever. It's some kind of park. There's campgrounds here. There's all kinds of cabins and stuff you can rent. Like where I'm standing right here is a fire pit and a lovely table. And look at this very cute, adorable cabin that you could stay in and have this beautiful evening lake view while you sit here and maybe you make s'mores. This is beautiful. I love finding places like this, but I wish I'd used them more often. And I'll bet that's the case here. I bet that people use them more often to keep these kinds of places going. I just think sometimes we're not doing this kind of stuff anymore with our families and our friends and going out. Look, you could come up here with a couple of families, rent a couple of these cabins. Right here, look, this is beautiful. I love this. There's one over here kind of hidden in the nook. It's in the nook back there in the trees amongst the boulders. They've got giant propane tanks. I wonder maybe it's really expensive. I don't know, but there's, 7 or 8 cabins here. This is really nice. And all overlooking the lake, kind of. The lake's over there. But it's mostly this is like a fishing environment, kind of, but you don't have to be a fisherman. Look, there's a Christmas tree growing right here. There's kind of a little central area here where you could all gather and bring a potluck dinner. There's kind of a central fire. Maybe this is like a group camp. This might be like a group camp. This is fantastic. Look, there's a water source here. What a nice outdoorsy place to be. Let's go look a little bit more amongst the park here and see what we see. They got a sign here that says lake. That's where I just was, forward that way. Lake, cabins, and youth area. That's probably where I was, in the youth area or cabins. And then there's a boat inspection here, so they don't want you to put any stuff in the water off your boat, like from other water sources, like other water places that could contaminate the water here, because this is a reservoir. So anyway, there's the ranger station right there. There's a ranger station. You go check in and you can make your campground check in with your campground or your cabin or whatever you're doing here. There's got bathrooms over there. And then right here, this is how you know this is really kind of a fishing place. Come fishing. They've got a fish cleaning house right here. This like takes me back to like old movies or I don't know, TV shows or movies from like the 50s and 60s where people would go camping and just do a lot more outdoorsy stuff. It just seems like. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there still doing this stuff, but just feel like people don't do it enough anymore. And this is a fish cleaning house. If you catch your fish, your catch for the day, you can come over here and apparently there'll be a lot of you. There'll be a lot of you. And there's all kinds of stations here for cleaning your fish. Look at this. Oh, and they've got a little area here with recipes. For like you just caught some fish and now you're like, what the heck do I do with this fish I caught? And there's some recipes here that you can follow about how to cook your smoked catfish, blackened catfish, southern fried catfish, crawfish, all kinds of things. And notice there's no glass in the windows. It's very airy because what's going to happen in here, if there's like 30 people in here cleaning their fish, it's going to get stinky. It's going to be stinky and also you might have flies. And so there's a nice screen mesh here. And you're not to rinse your boat in here. If you can get your boat inside this building, they do not want you to rinse your boat in here. You have to do that elsewhere. Let's see. Ooh, it works a little bit. I think I just depressurized it. Yeah, so you can wash your fish in here. Fish washing house. Have you ever seen a fish washing house? Well, now you have. Okay, so if you come here via the PCT or you're a PCT hiker and you're coming down out of the mountains here into Lake Morena, you're going to pass this sign which has all kinds of information on it about how you can reserve a campground. There's a PCT hiker area, so you don't have to get like a whole campground. You can just kind of crash in one spot and share the fee with everybody that, you know, it's kind of a group site. And then you're going to walk through here, this little circle here, and there's an intersection. And if you go up the road a little ways, you're going to go up to the malt shop, and we're going to go up there in just a little bit, and I'll show that to you. And also, right over here, the trail, maybe you're just going to keep on going. And so the trail is marked by some signs, like there's a sign right here on this telephone pole, right there, and you just keep walking down this road, and you will meet up with the PCT again. Kind of goes on the road through town right here, and then back onto the trail. But for us today, we're just taking a look at the campground. We're going to walk over here. They got a really big campground here at Lake Morena. It's huge. Lots of campsites. Here's all the campsites. RVs can park in here. There's lots of room and lots of space. You can pitch your tent, whatever you want. Lots of room here at the Lake Morena campground. Now we're going to go up the road a little ways and check out the village and stuff, the malt shop and some other neat things I saw along the side of the road. Also, the lake here is very, very low. It's really low. In fact, I saw a launch ramp at least a quarter mile from the water's edge, which was kind of funny. All right, we're going to go up the street and check out some of the village, the town. So I've come here via the trail and just kept on going before when I was hiking. And usually, sometimes, maybe it's a seasonal thing. When you come down here, there's turkeys everywhere. There's turkeys all over the land. And you find them, and maybe we'll see some today. But I'm walking up towards the malt shop in the little village. And look at this cool fence. It's got little like stone architectures inside, and there's no trespassing. So we won't do that, right? That's inappropriate. But these gates also, oh no, they don't open. But there's these little rooftop. Look at these little things. And up here, there's like this sort of Western looking village. Up here, I don't know what this is. We're going to see it in just a second. Look at this barn. Look at how neatly this is decorated with all this kind of stuff on the outside. And then there's a canoe, half a canoe stuck up there, decorated. Look, and wow, look at the stuff along the header right there. There's a little stove and a milk jug and a lighthouse and a gas tank. Some other stuff, fire extinguisher, all kinds of neat stuff up there. And then over here, look at it, says plumbing and electrical is housed inside. This might just be somebody's house that is really neatly, it kind of looked like a place where you could pay money and go in and walk around, a little village thing, but I don't think so. I think it's just somebody's house. Look at that. That's the garage for plumbing and electrical. This is neat. They got a red fire extinguisher hydrant, red fire hydrant out here. Look, there's a thing that says county jail. And above it, it says sheriff, Rick, little signs and wood things. Somebody has spent a great amount of time decorating this property to make it look cool. Look at that. Here we go to Rick's. I wonder, it says Sheriff Rick above the sheriff's door there, the county jail there. And then here it says Rick's Gas, Auto Repair, and Mercantile. And there's an old-timey gas pump out there. Look here. Look where we've arrived. Welcome to fabulous Los Wages, Lake Morena. What is going on here? This is really neat. Okay, this sign's kind of hard to read, but it says, the best display of the worst antiques you've ever seen. I don't know, this is pretty neat looking. Okay, there's more stuff over here. There's also an entrance. Let's see if there's some kind of entrance inside where you can actually, you're welcome. Because there's lots of private property, no trespassing. And there's a gate here. Rancho Los Zorros. I don't know, they've got all kinds of stuff in here. I don't know, it says no trespassing. This is private property, we're not supposed to go in. You're not welcome. But you can just look from the road. Vista Palomar Riders. I don't know what this is. Rancho Los Zorros. Something's going on over there. That is really neat. I'm going to have to look into this a little bit. Maybe it's worth a return trip to find out what it's all about at Rancho Los Zorros. Look at over here. There's even a fishing shack. Over here. Look at that. I think somebody's just having a lot of fun decorating their property and making it look really neat. Look at this neat house kind of nestled in the trees right here. Reminds me of an old military bunker like on Gomer Pyle. And there's these really nice little communities. I think this is like a property with more than one house on it. I'm not really sure. Okay, the Rancho Los Zorros here in Lake Morena, it says on the internet, Rancho Los Zorros appears to be a misremembering of Rancho Zorro, the name of the historical property that is now part of the Fairbanks Ranch residential community, rather than a location related to Lake Morena. And so the Rancho Zorro historically was originally owned by Hollywood stars Douglas Fairbanks and Sr. and Mary Pickford. That was the name of their, so maybe it's like a play on their property they had in Fairbanks Ranch. Okay, back there is where I came from. I'm walking up the street toward the malt shop and the little convenience store up here. There's a lot of residences here. People, this is kind of cool. I kind of like this kind of community. Look at, there's a house here that's just, people live there. Different kind of, gosh, I live in a tract home. So I'm so used to seeing tract houses. I hate them. I don't like it. It's nice. I mean, it's a wonderful neighborhood. My kids learn to ride their bikes there. We live in a cul-de-sac. There's a park down the street. It's a lovely place to just walk around. They're older, built in the 80s. Lots of single-story houses and families. It's a really nice place to live in that respect. But I like more of the outdoorsy kind of place. Like this place here. This might be like their, I don't want to give away their secret. Like this secret little community here that people live in. I'm gonna go down the street a little bit. There's just some, oh, there's a dog. He scared me. Hi, puppy. Okay, we're gonna walk over here to the which is right there, the market. Probably shouldn't go walking down. People probably don't want you filming their houses and stuff. I feel kind of weird. This is kind of cool, little kind of a log cabin-y looking place. Whenever I go to different places, like families from Kansas, and so I've been to the little town called Emporia, Kansas, where my family lives and where my dad grew up, and it's always just so different to see how neighborhoods are laid out and how houses are built and how stores are, and different kind of a folk. And then also, where did I go? It was really weird. Well, I don't know. That's right. So my sister-in-law and her husband moved to Wisconsin, and we went and visited them, and it was a very different atmosphere. There was no fences between the properties. There was tons of green grass everywhere, and everywhere you turned there was a like a field of corn. Very different atmosphere. Very interesting. Very neat. Very neat to go see different things. Hi. How are you doing? Good. Take a look at this fantastic market. They got ice cream, and they got different drinks and candy bars, and right over here they got all kinds of fishing supplies and camping supplies. Look at this. You can get hooks and bait and all kinds of fishing stuff that you might need here at the lake. They got camping supplies up there on the shelf. They got coffee and tea and mayonnaise and pickle relish and hot sauce and flour and pickles.
and sleeping bags. Look at this. They got sleeping bags up top, extension cords, engine oil, syrup. They got the pearl milling syrup, and they got cold stuff like beer, and they got a turkey lifter. Marshmallow stuff for making marshmallows and things around the campfire. All kinds of things that are kept cold in these glass cases. Right here they got some Squirt and some Sunkist. They got like some snacks and nuts and candy bars and gum and chips and all that kind of stuff in that aisle. Oh, I just saw RC Cola. There's a guy right there. He's getting some stuff. And in these cold cases, oh, they got wine. They got all kinds of wine. Look at tons of wine. Look at all this wine. Way back over there in the corner, they got a place where you can order food. They got all kinds of food back there. There's a grill and a sandwich bar. There's a guy in a yellow shirt, and we got some Pringles, and they got some frozen goods here, like Hot Pockets and stuff. And then look, they got bait. They got mealworms, night crawlers, those kinds of things in the refrigerator in these tubs. That's not potato salad. Don't get that and think it's potato salad. Folgers coffee, instant coffee, and noodles, and more nuts and Pringles and snacks and chips and things. And they got ice cream in that freezer. They got candy bars, Snickers. What is these, crackers? And here's the menu. They got all kinds of sandwiches and salads. Oh, and then inside the cooler here, they got fresh vegetables and fruit and watermelon and carrots and those kinds of things. Hot dogs. They got hot dogs. Let's take off and go outside.
So that was a little market here, and they've got a really nice little like a kitchen back there where they make sandwiches, all kinds of food. The menu's pretty vast. And I tried to video it, but I did not. I had an error in human error in button pushing, and so I didn't get a video of that. But I got a water because I forgot to bring water up here today. Find me. So yeah, I got this water. And what am I doing up here? So I always try to find places that are interesting, kind of like in my daily, whatever I'm doing today. And so I do have a list at home where like things I want to go see and places I want to go do. Did I say that right? Places I want to go and things I want to do and things to make videos, like a kind of a wish list of things I want to go explore. But sometimes they're too far away, and I just got to do what I got to do what I'm doing in life. And so that's what this place was. I had to take Audrey up here to the mountains about 30 minutes from east of my house, and this is and she has to be there for 3 hours. And I didn't want to go all the way home, so I came up here another 20 minutes to Lake Morena Village, where I'd never been, and so except for just walking through. And so that's what we're doing today. That's why I'm here, just trying to be kind of spontaneous and just find something interesting about everywhere you go. It's kind of a challenge to go around, just like whatever you're doing, to try to find something interesting about it. And if it's interesting enough, we'll share it. All right, we're gonna drive back through the town right now. I gotta get out of here. I've got to pick her up in like 45 minutes. So I'm gonna drive back down the street right there the way I came in and back through the town, and we're gonna go see what we see as we exit. This here is the Lake Morena Country Market. Groceries, beer, wine, cigarettes, gasoline, propane, check cashing, money orders, wire transfers, ATM, adventure passes, firewood, bait, tackle, and ice. And they got gas. And it's a market, and it's little, and it's, it's a small town charm of a market. This is the intersection of Bass Road and Oak Drive. Very outdoorsy terms. Let's keep going. Well, that's it. There was nothing else to see. All of a sudden, there was that little grocery store thing there, and then that was it. So I'm leaving. Thanks for joining me today on our spontaneous, spur of the moment, find something interesting to look at and talk about video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think we're done. The vlog is over. The tour is over. I will see you tomorrow.